Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. All right, I got my man Coach Chris here. Is the journey for a racket over for my man? We'll tell you in a minute. Stay tuned. All right, guys, Coach Chris is with me today. I'm semi-excited about maybe a possible racket decision by Coach Chris, okay? So, Coach Goo and I have been giving him so much crap about this racket right here, which is his racket for what, 4, 5, 6, 20 years now?
About, 3-4 years, yeah.
3-4 years. Okay, well, you hold this thing for 1 minute, okay? Yeah, let me wipe that for you, baby. Okay, it's here. Hold this. It's done. All right, we wiped it. We drew it away. Okay, that's what I think of that racket. That's what Coach Andrew thought of that racket when we hit with it. So definitely, it was time to move on. So we thought it was very wise for Chris to start his racket journey, but we didn't think it would take 10 years. So 10 years has gone by now. Okay, and he's tried every racket on the planet, but we're going to go through what he actually tried and why he didn't like it, okay? So my first thought was, since it's a VCore 98, that it would be an easy transition to a VCore 98. So the first thing I said was, try the VCore 98. This is the new version, right? And I was like, but we have him try the old version first. So why didn't you like the old version of this?
So I didn't really like the older version of it, was because I just couldn't really feel the ball as much too as well. And when I was striking it, it just didn't feel like the same as the older version, the oldest version. It just felt a little bit different, and that's kind of why I kind of got a little wary as I was playing with this. They did a few different things with it, right? We talked about kind of putting in the kind of dampening effect a little bit, and I like to kind of feel the ball a little bit more, and I felt like the frame itself lost its, I guess if you recall, it's a little bit of its stiffness.
Stiffness, maybe a little feel. They added speed to it is what it is. Mm-hmm. So they added more spin, trying to make it like an arrow.
Yeah.
Kind of the same with this one too, but this one was a little better. Coach Chris liked this one a little better, right? You like this one?
Yeah, definitely. I think this one is suits me quite a bit. And like I said, it was just kind of as I was my contact spot. As soon as I was hitting it, it just didn't feel like that same kind of response that I liked compared to the old one that I was playing.
So yeah, a feel thing. Again, it's feel. So the old one had a lot of feel. It's probably because it was so damn old too, but with a new racket, you lose a little bit of feel because it's stiffened up now, or it's stiffer now. So yeah, we took that one out of the race immediately. Now, pretty quick. He actually, the funny thing is, I thought, what about Babolat VS Pure Arrow, right? I was like, try this one. And he held on to this one for a couple weeks. And why not that one?
When I played with this, I felt like it was a little harder to control the ball into the court. So I felt like when I was hitting, this is a pretty powerful racket. Maybe a little bit too powerful as I was hitting from the baseline, hitting ground strokes. Like good on the serve too as well. I got that effortless power. But then again, it was just more like didn't really, in terms of like my playing style, it didn't really quite fit with what I wanted to do on the court as well. So
okay, so we moved on from that. He's like, well, since that's too much power, let's tone it down a bit and go with the Pure Drive VS. Okay, a little lighter on this thing too. So Coach Chris likes to drag a little bit more, so we'll give him a little more head speed. So we kind of put our brains together, and he wanted to try this. Why not the Pure Drive VS?
The Pure Drive VS actually was quite good too. I played a few practice matches with the Pure Drive VS. Again, really powerful. Like anything in the Babolat series, like whether it's the Aero Pro or the Pure Drive, it's really powerful on the serve for sure. But then again, when I was trying to hit a little bit more on the backhand, I couldn't quite. A lot of it felt like it was just a feeling type thing. It was a little bit like I guess discomfort because I would miss a little bit more on the back end, missing long, so I'd spray it a bit. And then just this racket itself, as I was hitting with it, it was a little bit on the lighter side, and I wanted something a little bit heavier in terms of like, because it's a 10.6 ounce. So when I was playing with it, I felt like it was a little bit like how I liked what Harry was saying, how I like to drag it a little bit more. So I did actually end up adding weight to it, which felt a little bit better. But then overall, I just decided not to go with it too. So
yeah, when we added weight, I remember that we stabilized the racket a bit, but it still was a little unwieldy for Coach Chris. So that had to go to the back burner too. So right then was when Gu was using this thing. So he was kind of infatuated with the Ezone 98 Racket of the Year. So I thought, possible, right? Why not that one?
So again, a great racket too as well. But what I found was that it was a little bit too heavy in the head. So when I wanted to generate that racket speed, because my swing, especially on the forehand, is a little bit more on kind of that loop end. It was a little harder and willy to kind of make up for kind of the timing of my contact point being out in front. So at the end of the day, it's a powerful racket. It's a great racket too as well. But I just couldn't make the move for this. And I also tried out the Tour version too. And again, it's just kind of after playing a lot of hours with it, the Tour, especially the Tour, it got pretty tiring on the arm. So then I was having a harder time swinging that thing. So
yeah, the Tour version is over 11 ounces unstrung. So
but a lot of the weight is in the head.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he needs to eat his spinach a little more because Popeye's still kind of skinny over here because he wears a size small, Okay, so in through with that one, and we kind of barely grazed the farm or the pastures with this one. I felt like it went into his hands and left his hands as fast as it went in his hands. So why not the blade? Why not the blade?
Well, okay, so the Blade 98, I just hit it with a few shots with this, and immediately I was like, not the one for me. I just felt like the frame, like it was a little bit not stiff, but it was like very flexible. So I couldn't really quite get like drive through the shot a little as much as I want to. And that was just, again, it's just a feel-based thing. I didn't quite really feel like it, but I'm pretty sure if I weighted it up, or I played with the Pro stock version, the
Blade Pro.
The Blade Pro, basically. That one felt nice, so that they did a better job. But this one, it just didn't suit my taste either.
Right. So that left his hand pretty quickly. Okay, so we got into VCore 95s because Coach Gu was using VCore 95s. See a trend here, guys? Okay. So VCore 95 previous version and then new version. Why not the previous version first?
So actually, I like the previous version a lot better than this one. And then I don't think there was a 95 of the older one, like the 2-3 generations ago.
Yeah, I don't think there was.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but the older version, which is what Gu has right now, the 95, I actually like that one too. I thought they did everything right about that racket, but I think for me, when I was playing with the 95, it became just a bit too heavy, a little bit unwieldy for me. So like I felt like a lot of the weight was on the head, if I remember.
Yeah, it was kind of distributed out here, but
Yeah.
I felt like the weight moved to the head as you swung forward. So
Right. So I actually like that one, that 95 too, and then obviously Gu's kind of spec'd it up a little bit more to match his taste, and it plays great. So it actually is a very solid racket. But playing with this one, this not the current gen model, again, it's just, I don't know why, but they like kind of muted it a lot. So when I was striking it, it just didn't feel like the same kind of I didn't feel it as much when I was hitting through that, hitting through the ball a bit more. So this wasn't really the one that I would go with.
Yeah, it didn't feel like this was as solid as the old version. When they thinned it out at the top by 0.5 millimeter, I felt like it didn't have that, solid, stiffer feel that the old generation had. So, a man needs a little more power, So, all right. So we were with this guy, the 97 Pro Staff, for a little bit here. Maybe like month, maybe a little more than a month. Mm-hmm. And he thought that this was going to be the winner, right? Why not this one the winner right now?
So I like the Pro Staff. I really do. I got to play again matches with it and got to be put under pressure playing with this racket. And I felt like I was able to be a bit more crafty on the court, and kind of that matches my game style. So whether it's slices, drop shot, and then even though I didn't feel like as powerful in terms of serve with this racket, but it was a very stable racket, so I felt like I could do whatever I wanted to with it, with the Pro Staff. It was kind of an extension of my arm. And again, like as I was trying these rackets, it just felt like I just needed to find a racket that I can kind of do what I will it to do. So this came really close, and I definitely enjoyed playing with, and also my buddy from the tour, Michael Lorenzo, he was out here for a bit too as well. He was kind of getting me to try play out his Pro Staff too as well. So.
Oh yeah, so if you guys remember, Micah used this racket, and he's basically borrowed the crap out of Micah's racket, whereas Micah's like, damn, stop using my racket, dude. Right? So I actually had to get him one of our demos, in which he still has in his bag right now. But he actually took this to the wire, okay? Literally to the end. So, and he might still be fickle enough to come back to it, you know what I'm saying? So the X isn't an X yet, if you know what I mean. All right? So, down to the last two here. So, we demoed this one for you guys in a video. The CX200 Tour 1820 by Dunlop with the leather grip. Okay, the Kevin Anderson sponsored edition. This came down to the wire too. Why not the 1820?
So, when I was hitting with it a little bit, I might even play with it a little bit more. That's the thing. I might, between the 1820.
See, fickle, man.
1619. I actually haven't hit with this as much. I only hit a few with this racket, but what I might do is probably go with the 1619 and then weight it a little bit more, because with the 1619 I felt like I can get a little bit more power. This, I felt like I could definitely get a lot more control and place the ball a bit more. But then obviously I just couldn't, I felt like I had to generate a little bit more power normally than usual, versus the 16x19. It was a little bit more effortless. But again, both of these rackets very similar to kind of the Pro Staff in terms of, like, first of all, the weight of it too as well. I like a racket that's a little bit more handle heavy, right? Versus in the head. And it's stable, which is really good too as well. So, when I was playing sets with this, it just felt like, again, just an extension of my arm. I was able to kind of will it to do what I wanted to do. And it comes very close to the Pro Staff too as well. So.
All right, so still in the running, guys. Okay, we're still dating this one. All right, so the current ultimate winner is the CX200 Tour 16x19. So he has chosen this racket to be his temporary girlfriend. Okay? Not permanent girlfriend, but temporary girlfriend. Okay? So why this stick?
So yes, the CX200 Tour. This racket is the one that definitely responds well to what I will it to do. Again, I played a few practice matches with this, and I did find it very similar to the Pro Staff 97. It's very responsive. Yes, that's the word exactly. Very responsive. So as the thing is, I might add a little bit more weight to it so I can kind of get a little bit more pop with the serve. But other than that, like just being from defensive, offensive, coming into net, I think it's a really stellar racket, and definitely if the main girlfriend for sure that I'm going to be playing with this right now. So
all right, we going steady right now. Okay, we going steady with a Dunlop right now. Okay, Dunlop's come to play. These rackets are super good, guys. We're going to be doing a lot more testing on these rackets as I get them in and string them up. But Dunlop's come to play, right? Dunlop's come to play with Coach Chris. You know what I'm saying? So we seriously dating right now. So that's the racket right now. Coach Chris, thank you for allowing me to go through your racket journey with you.
Thanks.
How do you feel now?
Yeah, good. I mean, it's I think after demoing that many, I actually now know what exactly I want in a racket. And then just it matches kind of also have to think about how I play too as well. And, being kind of my game style is a little bit more like a counter puncher type game style right now, just retrieving a lot of balls back, but then also choosing when to be aggressive and attacking right moments. I feel like this stick, the Dunlop CX200 is the one that I've kind of chosen right now.
All right, the golden retriever has spoken. Okay. All right, so do you actually go through journeys like this? I mean, I know a lot of people just from being in tennis the last 33 years that, people do go kind of up and down with rackets, because you kind of know when you like a racket the first time out, the second time out for sure, whether it's, like I keep saying, whether it's acceptable. Very rarely do you fall in love with a racket, like very rarely. Maybe once in a lifetime does that happen, just like with your spouse, unless you divorce them. But anyways, very, very rarely do you fall in love. You kind of like turns into love, right? Then you don't want to don't want to give it up, right? So, but yeah, that's Chris's racket journey, and I'm sure a lot of you have experienced the same thing. So I want to thank my man, Coach Chris. Chris is back on Instagram for you guys. So Chris, where can we find you?
CB Chien Tennis, and I guess I can post this content there too as well with my racket journey as well.
Perfect. All right, guys. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.